We just got off Celebrity's newest ship, Celebrity Beyond, and we are here to tell you about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Hey everybody, my name is Jordan.
And I'm Jared.
And we are
JJ Cruise.
Thank you so much for tuning into the channel today. We are going to get into the nitty gritty of Celebrity Beyond. We spent 9 nights going around the Mediterranean on this brand new, beautiful ship. And we can't wait to tell you all about it. But before we do, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
Yes, and hit that thumbs up. We are trying to hit 30,000 subscribers so you can be a part of the first 30K.
Let's get into the Beyond.
So first and foremost, we're gonna go through the good, but stick around till the end because we're gonna talk about the not so good, the bad, as well as the ugly of Celebrity Beyond. So to get started, let's talk about the first thing, and that is the rooms. So we did a full review of our very first Celebrity Inside stateroom, but it is a deluxe interior. And let's just say the space and storage of the deluxe inside stateroom is like no other interior room we've seen on any other cruise ship.
The room is large, and yeah, like Jared said, we could fit all of our luggage underneath the bed. There was no problem with storage. We were on it for 9 nights. We probably could have been on it for like 14 or 20 nights and still had plenty of space to put our stuff.
Oh yeah, and the bathroom is gorgeous. We already put the video out like we said, and literally everyone is raving about the bathroom, so go check it out above if you want to see what that looks like.
Let's move on to the overall ship. Now, of course, we were really impressed with the room, but the ship in and of itself is amazing. This is an Edge class ship, so like its sister ships, Edge and Apex, it has a lot of similarities, but they just made this ship better. Something that people have complained about in the past on the Edge and the Apex is the bars, that there's just not enough of them on the ship. Beyond has solved that issue and added 2 new bars. The first one is a personal favorite of both of us.
Oh, I love the world-class bar. Now, if you're familiar with Celebrity's older ships, world-class bar is a favorite on those. It has some of the highest end cocktail creation that you can find on Celebrity, and it truly is one of the best bars on their older ships. That was not on Edge and Apex, but it is on Beyond, and it is in a perfect spot where it's a little bit out of the way, but still a part of the Grand Plaza.
It sets up on deck 5, and it looks out onto the massive chandelier. Of course, that's the crowning jewel of the Grand Plaza, and it is the perfect place to go grab a nightcap or a morning cap if you're a morning person, and enjoy, like Jared said, a premium beverage.
The other bar that they added is the Mast Bar, and that's a nice addition to the pool deck. If you want to get away from the pool deck, over on a higher level deck, the Mast Bar is a great choice for you. They also have a lot of TVs there, so you can actually watch some sports or something else up there while still enjoying the outside views. Before we move on from bars though, we have to talk about the huge improvement they made on Sunset Bar.
The Sunset Bar is stunning. Of course, there's a Sunset Bar on every Celebrity ship, but this knocks all Sunset Bars out of the water, literally. Nate Berkus actually designed the bar that sits at the back of the ship, and I have a new appreciation for Nate Berkus, I think.
Oh my gosh, it is absolutely gorgeous. I heard it's Morocco themed, and that's what it was, the inspiration for it, and whatever the inspiration was, I am here for it because it is gorgeous, and you really do feel like you're transported to another country on board the ship, but with these gorgeous sunset views where you can see the wake, you can see the beautiful ocean, but also have this beautiful scenery on board as well.
Something else on the ship that we loved was the art. Oh my gosh, the structures, the paintings, the wall decor throughout the ship. I spent a little bit of time every single day just walking around the ship taking pictures of the art because I thought the art was absolutely stunning.
Yeah, and one of the main structures that everyone's going to know about the Beyond is the one on the pool deck where it's the man holding the elephant and lifting him up. That is in reference to what we all have gone through recently in these years and how we can still overcome and really lift that elephant off our backs now and really rise again. It's a beautiful metaphor and it's perfect timing for the ship, and honestly the art is matching that across the ship as well. It's just absolutely impeccable. You have to see the art on Celebrity Beyond.
Let's talk quickly about the pool deck, and you're gonna hear a little bit more about our thoughts on the pool deck later in this review, but something on the pool deck that we think is fantastic is the cabanas. They have finally moved the cabanas up from across where the magic carpet is on deck 14, risen them up and put them right next to the pool area. I don't know why they didn't ever do this in the first place. I thought the design was so strange because on the edge and the apex, the cabanas have no direct access to the pool. On the beyond, they made this change, and thank you so much because we love this. Of course, the cabanas are an upcharge, so you do have to pay for those. But I can't get over how awesome those cabanas are.
Yeah, it's a perfect upgrade, one that we highly, highly appreciate from Celebrity Cruises.
There are also some small improvements that they made in the club. They actually added windows on decks 4 and 5 of the club. So during the day when you're having trivia in that space or other daytime activities, there is now some bright light coming into the club. It doesn't feel so dark and dungeony. Now they do close the blinds at night, which I'm not sure why they do that because it's dark anyways. But at night you still do definitely have that nightclub feel. We thought that this was a really big improvement for the club space, and we had to put it on our good list.
One of my favorite additions is honestly the best, and I hope it's here to stay on every ship moving forward. It's the plunge pools over by Rooftop Garden. Now this area is brand new. They've never done this before, and there are 2 plunge pools that are infinity plunge pools, meaning you can go all the way into the water out to the actual side of the vessel with just glass and water and then the ocean in front of you.
The views here are amazing. Now, something to note about these plunge pools is that they are actually pools. They are not hot tubs. We enjoyed some incredible views during the day, but in the Mediterranean at night, it got a little bit cold. We did a live from there, and by the end of the live, we were definitely freezing. So don't forget about the champagne hot tubs on the pool deck if you need to warm up a little bit. But if you want views and absolutely beautiful infinity pools, the rooftop garden area is the place to be.
Also perfect for that Insta moment. Moving on from the overall ship design, let's talk about the entertainment and activities. And let's just start out by saying they're incredible. And that's not rare for Celebrity, but it is something to note because a lot of people haven't been on Celebrity before, and they may not know that Celebrity provides some incredible entertainment.
The theater is, of course, very similar to the Edge and the Apex with the massive, maybe largest LED screens at sea. But the shows that they put on this stage are phenomenal. The singers were incredible. I actually think this was the best dance cast I have seen at sea. And we've seen some of these people on other ships, but this cast together, holy smokes, the dancers blew my mind.
Yeah, the dancing was fantastic. I have to agree with that. But the overall productions were fantastic as well. They range from Broadway, where you have modern hits like Hamilton to Dear Evan Hansen, all the way over to what's called Art, or Arte, which is all these modern and historical pieces of art coming to life on screen as well as on stage with the cast, with music that's familiar to you but perfectly paired and a little bit tuned, a little remixed, so that way you have a little bit of different vibe for every single piece of art.
Now, the entertainment though does not stop on the stage at the main theater. There is not one cast, but there is 2 casts on board that perform in unique spaces like Eden and the club. We have to give a shout out to this cast as well because they did some incredible work. These shows are interactive. They bring the audience definitely with them along the journey. I think we saw like a 1920s speakeasy show in the club. There was also a champagne show in Eden. They just have gone all out with the entertainment on this ship, and honestly, we couldn't be more impressed.
And the variety there, it's not just singers and dancers. You have these variety acts of aerialists, acrobatics, these 2 muscle men that are able to balance each other on top of each other. I mean, no matter what it is, it's so much fun. We have to highly recommend that you go on the ship and see the shows. We met some people that didn't, and we were like, you're missing out. Not just the entertainment, but the activities have also really improved on Beyond because they're putting tech involved in their game shows. For example, Buddy System is this new game show where they're really adding the tech factor, and they put some money into the actual stage and setup too. So it looks almost like Family Feud or some of your favorite game shows at home. We really enjoyed this and hope this is something to stay for Celebrity Cruises.
Now, we couldn't talk about the good without talking about food. Obviously, you know that we love to eat. And if you've been on the Edge class ships, you know that they've replaced the traditional dining room with 4 smaller dining venues, each one having a small little menu of specific dishes that fit the theme of the restaurant. Like Tuscan is Italian. Normandie is a little bit more French. But what we love is they took those small menus for these restaurants and they changed them. So we're not seeing the same type of food as we see on the Edge and the Apex. What we were told is that they're trying to vary the food up on the ships and give you a reason to go on a specific ship to try different menus. I think this is brilliant, and it is a step in the right direction because it makes your experience on the Beyond very unique.
One of these examples was the pasta in Cyprus. It's a new dish there that is not on an Edge or Apex, and it was absolutely delicious. So the food, the changes there are fantastic. We do love the fact that they have those changes, and we'll talk a little bit more about how this relates to drinks as well. World Class Bar is a phenomenal choice to add on. We already talked about that addition being a superb choice, but the menu there is also a little bit different than that of the other ships. And obviously it's not on Edge or Apex, but it is on the older ships, and the menu is newly enhanced, it's fresh, it's different look and everything and feel. You do have some of the classics like Above the Clouds with the Zacapa that we absolutely love, the Zacapa rum, our favorite rum. But at the same time, the best part of all of this is that you just have some more new additions to both food and drink menus.
Now, of course, the service on Celebrity Cruises is some of the best. They have the creme de la creme of people working on those ships. Beyond was right in line with all the other service that we've gotten on the ship. We had to put it on our good list because we love, love, love the crew. And the crew definitely was showing love back at us. There was actually a woman one of the last nights in our restaurant, and I told Jared I could feel her smile. She had a mask on, but it didn't matter that the mask was on or off. I knew that she was smiling underneath, and she told us she was just so happy to be on the ship and be there, working alongside some of the best crew in the world.
Yes, shout out to the crew. We love you.
Okay, I hate moving on to the bad section because there was so much good. But alas, we have to talk about the bad, and let's, I think, start with the stateroom.
Yeah, and the stateroom isn't a lot bad. In fact, this is actually being a little bit picky. It was just a little dark for us. Being in an inside stateroom for 9 nights, obviously the number one issue with that is the fact that you have no natural light coming in. You don't have a window, you don't have a balcony. And so one of the things we see with a lot of other ships is they lighten it up on the inside. They really make it feel like you're still outside as much as possible without being outside. Now, the good side of this, honestly, is the fact that the sleep was impeccable. You had no natural light coming in, and it never felt like it was light in the room. But the downside is it did feel a little dark, and you didn't want to stay in your stateroom much longer than you had to, or just to sleep.
Also, if you watched our stateroom review, you might already know this, but we thought the layout of the room was just really kind of awkward. The bed was right on top of the closet. The closet doors didn't open all the way. It made that section of the room really hard to kind of get in and out of bed. We feel like they could have just switched the layout, and maybe they do in other deluxe inside staterooms on the Beyond, but ours was just awkward, and we did not love the way that the room was laid out.
All right, we just made a big mistake while filming this. We didn't talk about the Martini Bar. The Martini Bar is completely different than Edge and Apex, and we have to mention it right here. It is so much more spacious. It's centrally located in the Grand Plaza, so you can sit around the entire bar. Now, we absolutely love that it's more spacious. There's way more seats. You can see what's going on. The shows that happen there for the chandelier show, as well as they have a new dance show where the dancers come out and dance and sing with the chandelier show. I think that's absolutely cool, and variety acts too. However, the reason why we forgot it is because we just realized that there is a negative to this, and it's on our bad, but we could not mention the bad without mentioning how much we love the new design of the overall space.
The bad part here for us that we just, I don't know, we kind of agree on is we don't love the new chandelier. It's kind of strange looking. It's a little bit boxy. Versus on the Edge and the Apex, it looks almost like a champagne glass kind of going up and exploding. It takes your eyes like really upward. We think that the show was kind of better. The light show was better on the Edge and the Apex. And I don't know, the chandelier is just maybe not for us on the ship. But that is the only negative in the Grand Plaza, which we think overall is a big plus.
Just to be clear, the overall structure and design is great. Just the chandelier itself is a little smaller and not as good as Edge and Apex. That is the bad here. One thing that we had hoped they would change with Beyond compared to Edge and Apex is closing off some of the restaurants that are attached to the Grand Plaza. For example, the steakhouse. Fine Cut Steakhouse is one of the top-end eateries for specialty restaurants on board the ship, but it is right open to the Grand Plaza, and if there's something going on in the Grand Plaza that's not meeting the mood of the steakhouse, you definitely feel that while eating in the steakhouse.
We've not liked this on other ships in the past, and we actually really realized it recently because we had a meal in the steakhouse when we were on Celebrity Edge, and the feeling was kind of like we were sitting in a mall. So after that meal, we thought, all right, maybe Beyond, they'll kind of clean this up, they'll put walls up or something to quiet it down in that space. And they didn't, it's still open. The design of the Fine Cut Steakhouse is really cool, but for a premium price, having to sit and listen to music that maybe you don't want to listen to blaring right outside the restaurant, we do not think is a good design element for the ship, and we hope they kind of take this into consideration and make a change for the future.
Moving right along with the restaurant theme, the overall food was hit or miss. Now, we did mention how some of the new menu options were really great, and we love that the menus are changing to be varied by ship. However, for the actual food on board the ship, we had some really great meals, and then we had some restaurants we did not want to go back to.
And we're gonna just be honest, because we always do, we'll tell all. We had a very bad experience at Cosmopolitan. That is kind of the American style restaurant. All of the food that we ate there was not so good. And then we had one of the worst experiences with room service we have ever had on a Celebrity ship. Celebrity normally does great things with their room service. We got food that was really cold, it did not taste good. We're both a big fan of the turkey club on the sandwich, and this turkey club was just flat out gross.
The food was just a little bit rough on those two areas. Everywhere else, we had really great meals, so we don't want to harp on this too much. We just want to make sure it's well known that maybe it's just a rough start for some of these restaurants. It was the only the second sailing out there, so I'm sure they'll get it good here soon, but those are just some areas that we did not have great experiences at. Now it's time to talk about the ugly of Celebrity Beyond. Now, we've talked about the ugly of some of the other ships. This one, it's just so weird of a choice. I don't understand what Celebrity was thinking here. We noticed this across the ship that they want a little bit more smaller, intimate spaces. So we see alcoves in the rooftop garden. We see some alcoves out, across the ship on the inside as well. On the pool deck, there is a certain alcove that just is really ugly.
Yeah, the ugly goes to the pool deck here, and it specifically goes to the small alcoves right by the pool deck bar. They have made these strange structures that are supposed to look like cactus. There's some rocks up there. Honestly, we both kind of thought that this area was an eyesore. Normally, we think Celebrity ships are beautiful, but this area kind of looks cheap. The cactuses look a little bit plastic.
They really do. They look like they're from maybe the dollar store and just built up. I mean, it really is. Like, when you get close to it, you're like, is this going to stand any bad weather? Because it really does not look that high end. Also, if you're going to do this, why not put a water feature here? There's some kind of like pebbles and rocks and stones just put around, so it almost looks like you're in your neighbor's backyard, and it just doesn't feel high end. It also feels very contained and a waste of space when we could have high end pool loungers. We always know there's a need for more loungers on pool decks. We would appreciate more of those than these alcoves that are rarely used, and when they are used, it only sits about 4 or 5 people in them, and so you're wasting a lot of space for 4 or 5 people to sit, and it doesn't really do much.
We were recently on the Apex about 3 weeks before we got on the Beyond. The ship was at 95% capacity, and the lounger situation on board was really bad. Every time we went to the pool, we never had a chair. We had to put our stuff on the ground, and we both kind of said, hopefully in the future, Celebrity will have a lot of loungers out on the pool deck to kind of fix the situation. Now, the Beyond does have I think, additional loungers. But we just don't understand why they put this cactus feature when they could have put lounge chairs there to make everybody happy and everyone get a chair. So, Celebrity, I don't know what you're thinking for Ascent, but this would be the one thing that we hope changes from Beyond to Ascent, which comes out next year.
If you're listening, we really appreciate that change. And I think most other cruisers will appreciate that change as well.
Of course, like always, tell us in the comments what you think. Do you agree with our ugly? Have you been on the Beyond? Do you think that this area of the ship is kind of an eyesore? Or do you actually love it? We'd love to hear from you.
And of course, your other thoughts. You know, did you really like some of the goods or some of the bads? Is this going to impact whether or not you're going to cruise on Celebrity Beyond? Speaking of which, if you'd like to book your upcoming celebrity cruise, whether it's Beyond or another celebrity cruise ship, please reach out to us. We would love to book it for you. We are travel agents here, so you can email us at jj@lovelandandsea.com. That's 4 words, lovelandandSea.com.
That email will be down in the description below. But thank you so much for watching. I know we kind of took you on this tumultuous journey of the Beyond. We really appreciate you joining us today. And of course, we invite you to be a part of the JJ crew by hitting that subscribe button, hitting the like button, and turning on the bell notification for all videos like this coming to you in the future.
I can't wait to go back on the Beyond in the future. She is an incredible ship, so much good compared to any bad, and the bad was really pretty picky.
It was picky.
Honest. It was hard to come up with some of the bad, but at the same time, it was very apparent on some of the bads, and of course, the ugly.
Well, that is it for now. Until next time, see ya!